Good morning, Jayhawks. This is Matt with Good Morning KU.
Hello, everybody. I'm Evan. We're coming off a big weekend of KU football. It was a big win this weekend at Boston College. Did you catch the game?
I didn't watch the game, but I heard about it online, and it was a truly great game. Not only were we able to overcome tremendous odds in beating this team, but we were showing up in full force.
You see the stadium right there. Kind of cool the special effects they had going there. But you can see up in the stands it wasn't packed like we've seen Memorial Stadium in the past few weekends here at KU. But still really cool special effects they had there. The Jayhawks won 48 points. You can see them walking out after the game. There were quite a few KU fans I could see there.
Yeah, it looks like the stadium filled up pretty easily, and not only did it fill up, but it filled up with KU fans.
Yeah, it must have been cool to be a Kansas fan in there at the Boston College game and have them win 48-point total end score with a 24-point lead at the end over Boston College. So I believe it's the most on the road points won since 2006 for KU, so that's cool that some fans were able to be there and take that in.
For sure. There's been lots of momentum this year with new coach Les Miles, who has really taken this program to tons of new heights. We can already see that with our win last week, but even more, we're looking forward to this week's game against West Virginia.
Yeah, it should be a good game. It is family day at the Memorial Stadium, so that should be good. It should be a lot of momentum coming off this past weekend's win, too, for the Jayhawks, so that'll be cool. Lawrence will probably be abuzz with all the families in town, and especially lots of people coming down for the West Virginia game, especially with that momentum from the game this past weekend.
And it's perfect time for a game. It's at 3:30 on a Saturday. Weather will be great. And like we said with Family Day, we're expecting lots of Jayhawks out there this weekend. I know as we showed earlier, Coach Les Miles agrees that this is going to be a huge event for KU football fans.
Yeah, I think the attendance from the first game attendance was the second game, went up from the first game, so hopefully the third game attendance will keep going up at Memorial Stadium. And, Lawrence will probably be a buzz this weekend, all Mass Street restaurants, everyone with their families, and just taking in a great day. So hopefully the weather stays good, because that'll be an exciting game.
That's right, and hopefully with all the momentum we have here in town and all the fans we have supporting it, then we'll pull off another win with this coach and with this team. Obviously, we've shown a lot of success already, and we're looking forward to the future.
Yeah, so we're excited for that, and we'll be right back after this.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Good morning, I'm Keely McCormick, and today I'm joined by Nancy Bocskor, who has a tremendous resume full of awards and accomplishments. So welcome to Lawrence.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be back in Kansas.
Yeah.
And I learned the history of rock chalk yesterday, and I posted that on Facebook because, you see, I love knowledge. So everyone in the world now knows why we say that here in Kansas. So I do my part to promote
the
college. Absolutely.
So you've done a lot of work with women going into the workforce and helping girls take girl power up a notch. So just tell me a little bit about your work with that.
I used to tell people I want to open doors for people who had them slammed shut. I just moved to Texas about a year ago. I'm launching the Texas Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy at Texas Women's University. And I found there, women don't even know where the door is. And so I've just been very blessed in my career that my parents always were creating opportunities for me. So for now, it's what can I do to help empower women who didn't necessarily have a family that said you can be anything you want. My parents were pretty extraordinary when and my job when I was born from day one was you're going to college. So everything about my life was what can we prepare you to be the best student you can be. And it's sad to realize and kind of enlightening to see that not everyone had that. And I think that's part of the difficulties we're having as a country right now.
So what do you think some of the biggest hurdles young women face as they're entering the workforce?
The biggest gap is the confidence gap. It has not changed. Another study came out again last week. The confidence gap for girls start as early as age 6. And it's subtle. Sometimes, boys are noisy, girls are good, right? And it may be the one that's waving the hand in the classroom is the one that's getting called on. But it's really sad to see that it starts there. And so my career with the boards I'm on, one of the boards I'm on is running START, and we've been around more than a decade now, and have trained more than 15,000 young women, starting at age 13. So every summer at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., we select 75 girls from age 13 to 18 and put them through a week-long political leadership. Because for young women, we are finding still in this day and age, if you want to run for office or you want to be powerful or you may be the noisy girl, it's not necessarily, you're the nerd, right?
Yeah.
Hello, I feel like I'm uniting the fellow nerd girls around the world. But I say that because you should see them when they come to Georgetown and they're talking to other 13-year-olds who have already started nonprofits or they've already volunteered on a political campaign. And if I can whet their appetite, give them skills, and send them back with this confidence that it's okay to care what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty powerful, especially when we see this gap starting at 6. What can I do to really keep you on that path to public service?
Yeah, what are some other ways you think that women can close that confidence gap early on?
One of my favorite sayings is, change is difficult, to not change is fatal.
I like that.
And I have reinvented my career. I mean, no one in the world would think after 39 years of being, I have been in DC since a couple of months after I graduated from college. All of a sudden, there was an opportunity in Texas to go for it. Yeah. And I went, okay, this is a major change. But our generation is very different, especially yours, very different from parents and grandparents where you would go work at the same company for 40 years and
Yeah.
you'd get your gold watch and you would retire. Now you can change. You've got to stay at this job for 2 years or you have to be here 5 years. The world has changed. And I find that many women in particular are scared of that. I was very fortunate. I was the youngest woman chief of staff on Capitol Hill by age 30. But I also had looked around when I was a younger woman in my career and went, how are the men getting to be chiefs of staffs or field directors at the Republican Party? And it was because they left DC for a while. You cannot just be in the same place. So my best friend and I, and it's funny, we were reflecting on this recently, she got an offer to go manage a congressional campaign in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh.
And when she lost the primary, she ended up in Indiana. I ended up moving to Nebraska in my mid-20s because I knew I had to run. I ran the Nebraska Republican Party. And so that made us so much more valuable when we went back to DC because we had managed something big.
Wow.
And so nobody told us to do that. We just observed it. And so a lot of young men will get in their car and go out to the middle of nowhere in Kansas to manage a long shot congressional race. And then they end up being chief of staff at 24. But a lot of young women will go, gosh, I'm going to move, I'm going to leave my family, and who's going to pay my health insurance, where am I going to live?
Yeah.
And it's trying to convince women, it's okay, take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Because the people who are risk takers are rewarded. And that is still to this day, the biggest hurdle I see that young women is, change is hard. But if you don't, you will be in the same spot forever.
Yeah. Change is good.
It is. It can be good. And even if it's not, it's okay. We don't have to stay at the same thing for 40 years.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm Maurice.
And I'm Grace, and this is your Tuesday Good Morning KU's news update. Several projectiles struck the world's largest oil processing plant this weekend, taking out nearly half of Saudi Arabia's oil production and 5% of the global daily output. This attack has now sparked conversations about the security of the world's oil supply, with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blaming Iran and calling for action. This attack is the latest escalation in the already intense conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has banned the sale of flavored e-cigarettes. This comes after a number of people have fallen ill and even died from health complications surrounding flavored e-cigarettes. Last week, a Kansas man became the sixth person to die from a vaping-related illness. The CDC has now tallied 6 deaths and 450 possible severe cases of lung injury as a result of vaping.
Actress Felicity Huffman was sentenced to 14 days in prison for her role in the college admissions scandal that broke out earlier this year. Huffman paid $15,000 to rig her daughter's ACT scores. She is one of 12 defendants charged as a result of the scandal, including actress Lori Loughlin, who allegedly paid $500,000 to get her daughters on the USC rowing team. Loughlin is still awaiting a verdict.
Ohio gamer Casey Viner was sentenced to 15 months in prison for recruiting someone to make a fake emergency call that resulted in the fatal shooting of a Kansas man by police. He was also restricted from playing video games for 2 years. This incident happened in December of 2017 when 28-year-old Andrew Finch of Wichita was killed by police during a confrontation as a result of the fake emergency call.
The Kansas Jayhawks football team shocked its critics with a 48-24 road victory over Boston College on Friday. This was their first Power 5 road victory since October 4, 2008 versus Iowa State. KU will open its conference schedule by hosting West Virginia on Saturday, and head coach Les Miles expects a big and rowdy crowd.
We're going to have a home crowd that is spectacular. There is no question that this home crowd is going to be loud, eat a lot of food, drink. They're allowed to drink there now, right? They're going to drink and be loud and have fun, and we are going to play our butts off just as hard as we can. It's a good West Virginia team coming in, and they're worth it.
The KU volleyball team opened its renovated Horse Family Volleyball Arena last Thursday with a victory over Morehead State. The reconstruction came as a result of the routinely sold-out games throughout the previous years. The new arena has 965 more seats than last year's arena. Unfortunately, the Jayhawks lost to both Arizona and Syracuse over the weekend.
And the KU swim team placed second in the Open Water Championship at Lone Star Lake on Saturday. Senior Jenny Nussbaum, junior Chrissy Bloomquist, and sophomores Katie Callahan and Claire Campbell battled it out against 23 other teams and 81 swimmers in total. The Jayhawks finished with 40 points, just 8 points behind Rice University.
Well, that'll wrap it up for this morning's news update. It's going to be another hot one today. Temperatures are expected to be in the lower to mid-90s this afternoon with gusty winds. That's all for today. Have a great day, Jayhawks, and be sure to watch the Playmakers on this channel at noon.